So this will take about 5 minutes, but I'll try and read fast.
Take your time. We got enough space for everybody, and even then a little more.
Okay.
If you recall, we loved your piece. So you did
Last year was my first year. So, okay. I have a block. I cannot build anything with it or hold down papers with it, nor can it be used to jack up an old favored car. It is not physical, but it is as real to me as my cherry wood coffee table. It is like an entity with mass and size and shape, covered by an invisibility cloak. You might not see it, but if you run into it, it can stub more than a toe. So I cannot show you my writer's block, but I will endeavor to share my experience of it with you nonetheless. Often, it is an inner door, slammed shut with a sign on it that says, "Go away, you're not welcome here. There's nothing here but a dark, empty room, with pain waiting on the other side of this door. Go away now, run!" Sometimes the sign on the door says something quite different, but with the equally successful effect of chasing me away. It says something like, "On the other side of this door is the whole magnificent universe, but it's too much for you. You could never handle it. You couldn't stand to feel the intensity of an all-encompassing joy, an all-powerful potential, a vast fullness of possibility and infinite creativity. No, you must never open this door, or you will be completely overwhelmed and implode, or you will get completely lost and never return." No wonder I avoid sitting down to write when the block arrives. No wonder I recede into the dull safety of the zombie life, the guilty pleasures of watching TV shows and movies on the internet, of cooking or cleaning or eating or reading anything just to veil the boring passage of an infertile time. I do all those things comparable to switching seats on a slowly sinking boat. It might be a better view, but it's still sinking. It wouldn't be so bad if I'd never felt the exhilarating rush of cruising down the open highway of writer's flow, where the sky is bright blue, the breeze softly scented, the enchanting sights so vivid along the way, and where everything seems possible. Those joyful journeys of discovery and creativity and freedom are enticing and sexy, but the road fleeting and deceptive. I was fooled into thinking I was solidly on a paved road, accessible to me any time I wanted to take a drive. But oh, the shock of the block and the heartache I feel when I return to find I am on shifting sands and the road no longer there. It disappeared as quickly as a dream from waking, leaving me with only a few pixels of its existence and the rest completely gone. All that is left is a block. I wander around this block in the sand, hoping to find the thirst-quenching oasis of the writer's flow, searching for that life-giving drink of the open road. Like a mirage, it disappears the more I reach for it. I cry out and raise my fist. I grieve and wonder what I did to deserve this banishment. Eventually, memory and hope fades. Doubt grows up around me, fortifying the blank walls, and I let go of the search. I find myself in a deep rut of mundane, non-writing existence. I'm in so deep I can't see anything outside my rut. I see the floor and walls, beige and dry. I start to believe there is nothing but desert outside. I hang up pictures on the walls, rearrange the furniture, and lay down carpeting so the rut is more comfortable. I give up, sink deeply into the comfy chair, and plug into the matrix of media that infiltrates and further breaks down my will. The writer's block sits in the middle of the floor, and whenever I get up from my chair, I have to walk around it. I try to push it out of the way, but the block will not budge. It taunts me. I glare at it, and it only grows larger. The pen may be mightier than the sword, but when it too is stuck in the sorcerer's stone of a writer's block, it's quite as useless. The truth is, the block is really more of a blockade, and this obstruction has been with me for most of my life. I used to be very good at ignoring it, pretending I could get past it any time I wanted to, thinking I was just too busy at the moment, and certainly I would get to it very soon, and then we'd have a glorious time, wouldn't we? Many years passed with this illusion intact. How gullible I was to the rationale and con that fear and doubt concocted. It's only in the last year or so that I've had any much experience on the other side of the blockade, and I really have no idea how I got there. I just found I was there one day, as if I'd fallen through a hole in the wall in my sleep, and when I awoke, I simply started exploring the new landscape, like it was the most natural place for me to be. I had so much fun being on the other side of that wall. Even as a clumsy beginner, creating and expressing freely, it claimed my heart in a way nothing else ever had. This probably won't make sense, but life seemed more alive. I felt a pure, innocent joy. Making mistakes was all a part of experimenting and playing with the ideas and with the feelings, words, shapes, and colors of creation. The closer the evolving creation came to the sweet spot of the bullseye, the more the excitement built inside. And on the rarefied occasion when a word or brushstroke actually hit the mark, I felt the most satisfying sensation and knew, at least for that moment, all was right in my world. And yet the whole journey was actually a time-defying visit in Wonderland. Like a child playing with her brightly colored ABC blocks, building imaginary castles, unaware she was late for dinner. The process itself was the walk in the woods, the picnic in the park, the drive with the top down through bursting moments of discovery. I don't know how or why I'm back behind the blockade. It was a cruel tease to be given a taste of a juicy, ripe, and sweet peach on a warm and bright day, only to take the fruit and sunshine away. Now that I know what I'm missing, my life seems gray and flat. I feel the numbness of the half-living in limbo, bereft of spirit. I can't fool myself anymore. The grief is hard to hide. It is as life-depleting as if I was isolated and alone inside the block itself, like the truly innocent defendant unjustly shoved in a jail cell for an unknown amount of time, to be deprived of her life and her lover, and in the darkness of solitary confinement with no explanation. Acceptance of the dull day-to-day existence comes eventually, but the ache of loss is a constant and ghostly companion. So I'm in a rut that I've accepted, and perhaps have even decorated. And the big 2-foot square block is there on the floor of my life space, quietly deriding me. I should put my coffee mug and magazine to rest upon it. But remember, I told you the block is tricky. Here is what is also true about the block. Today I heard a noise outside the rut, and I felt a little frightened, but also curious. And without thinking, I stood on top of the writer's block to see what the heck was out there making noise. And because curiosity got me to jump on top of the block, which held me up high enough to see over the walls, I now see I'm not in the desert at all, but only in a sandy ditch right beside the road I was seeking. The noise is my car revving its engine, waiting for me. I see the truth of it was here all along, and I am lifted up to cruise another day.